and officially start this thing. All right. All right. First off, let's go ahead and start with. Is everybody prepared? Can't wait to make an educated purchase after this. Look, this is all just from my experiences with people that do dip, because I wouldn't know what any of this is like. Okay. So, from my personal expertise from being around people and interviewing them. Oh, for somebody who dips, not me. True. True. This is definitely the recommendations I figured out. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start off with this. We're going to go Skull Classic Wintergreen pouches. Alright. I want to let y'all know that I got into Skull supervising one time, and as soon as the can opened, whenever I seen what was inside, it was very dry, very disappointing from the guy's impression on his face, because Skull's known for being the better of the pouches in the community. And when I seen that, I felt very bad for the guy who was about to have to use that thing. It was dry. It took a lot, apparently, for it to eventually get moist. So, for the disappointment factor alone, and the fact that Skull is more expensive than some of the stuff on this list, so it's not a wise investment, we're putting this into the first D category. We're not going to delete it because some people might like the dryness to where it's a little less saliva-y. Now, to be the same hand with this, we're going to put the Skull Classic Mint pouches right next to them. D for dry, yes, I agree. And by the way, while we're doing this, we're going to try to also put them in the correct area in their respective category. So whatever is the closest to the letter is the best of that section. So for the mint, I will say this: the smell of the mint was better in the classic than the wintergreen. And when the guy put it in his mouth, he said, "Wow, the mint flavor isn't too strong, but not too weak. It's a good flavor, but damn, it's still dry." And for that, it gets, in my opinion, above the D to the C. But it's on the teeter because it's still the same issues that the wintergreen had, right? But it has the more balance to it to where it's C. So somebody might like this, and usually I do give a nod to, like, if I'm chewing bubble gum, like, I like mint more than wintergreen. So we're going to give the nod to the mint for that. On to the next. We're going to Grizzly Snuff. And in my opinion, if you dip snuff, you're either doing it to prove a point. Like, I'm a man, I love snuff. C for kinda dry. Facts. But if you do snuff, you do it just because you just want to prove a point. Like, I'm manly enough to do snuff. Also, I have more money than you. Because snuff is more expensive. It looks like dirt in a can, and it smells worse than horse shit. I don't understand people who are into snuff. It's always the older generation who I think taste buds are ruined over time. And they usually do construction and already hate their life, so let's do more torture and put some mouth dirt in there and just pretend that it's amazing. No, no one likes this. It's going into the delete category. If it never existed, the delete category to me is if it don't exist anymore, I would not care. For the people who like it, that is. Like, maybe if this gets deleted, that the people will go to a better product and enjoy their life more. They use snuff just to feel something, anything. And that anything is self-hatred growing inside you, because not me, but like if I was them, I dip snuff, I hate myself. If snuff didn't exist, the world would be a better place because they would find true joy in these other products. Just going to point that out there. And the fact that it's Grizzly, doesn't mean anything. I'm just going to shit on snuff entirely. So with that being said, Copenhagen snuff gets the same treatment. It's going to the bottom tier. It should never exist at all. But it is below Grizzly. And I know you're asking, Shane, why is it below Grizzly? This is the same thing, just different companies. They're both snuff. No, false. Copenhagen cans are more expensive than Grizzly cans. Therefore, you are paying extra for the same horse manure dirt shit you're eating and putting in your mouth just because now you got to flex, you got more money than the Grizzly guy. It don't make any difference. You're still making terrible life choices if you do Copenhagen snuff. On to the next one. So after this, we're going to go into a mistake that I stumbled upon in my life. I saw this, and since I don't dip, I just saw it as a gun enthusiast. I was like, oh, cool. Derringer, maybe there's a bullet or something inside this little container, like some ammo, single-serve ammo, so I can save some money on it. It was $1. Derringer Wintergreen. I thought that was a cool name for a bullet, man. But no, it was tobacco. Alright? And not only is it tobacco, it's up there with snuff. But guess what? It was $1. It was $1 for this can at a convenience store in the middle of nowhere, Florida. And the wintergreen smelled good. So I gave it to somebody and I said, hey man, taste this and tell me if it's worth $1. He put it in and he went, ugh. You know, for $1, it ain't too bad. So it's going in D tier because it's not snuff. And it's not $8 a can. But it's still snuff levels. But the price gives it that little boost. Maybe if some people got into that, they could afford a house or a new boat. On to the next one. We are going to go into what I consider the second biggest sleepers of all time. Longhorn pouches. Alright? Longhorn, if you're in a pickle, like you're a little low on funds, this thing's like $2 for these pouches. And believe it or not, they're pretty, from my experience talking to people, they're pretty good. It's not something you would want to do all the time. And it definitely, the price is the selling point to this thing, right? So Longhorn, we'll start with the wintergreen. Longhorn has like a weird dry start, much like this Skull, from my experience talking to people, that is. But it gets more moist faster than these things. Okay? And the flavor is equally comparable to that Skull. But guess what? Skull is $8 a can. This Longhorn's $2 a can. And it's the same thing. But people are like, oh, dude, I'm going dipping some Skull. And no one wants the Longhorn because they think it's generic. But guess what? Longhorn's better. Longhorn's for the people. Of course we're going to go Longhorn. Longhorn gets bumped up to B. Because it still also has those issues that the Skull has. But the price makes it better. Better price, better ranking. We're going there. And the wintergreen has a decent wintergreen feel to it. The next Longhorn is the straight. This one, I will say, it smells terrible. The taste of it, from when I had somebody explain it to me, because I don't do it, he said, man, this kind of tastes like battery acid mixed with tobacco leaves and grounds. So we're putting it in C. But guess what? It's still $2. It goes above Skull. Now for the mint Longhorn, we're going to knock the Longhorn out. The mint Longhorn pouches is just like the Longhorn straight, But if you put a little bit of Listerine in there for some minty flavor, but it's still $2. It's going right above Skol Classic. On to the next brand. We're going to go Wolf pouches. By the way, guys, I'm saving the heaviest hitters for last. So your big three companies. All right. Timberwolf peach pouches. Believe it or not, taste better than all of Skol and all of Longhorn. But Timberwolf is a 50 cent more expensive than Longhorn. That 50 cent may not seem much. So would you say $2 is the premier starter point for a new dipper on a budget? I would say if you don't know whether you're going to like it or not, I would recommend Longhorn wintergreen pouches because it's not too much to where you have to judge how much you need out of like a long cut can. It's a pouch. You can put it in. Try it. You don't like it? $2. $2. Perfect. And I can put $2 on anything. That's fine. That's a good. I would recommend that. If you're a new time person, you want to try dip out to see what it's like. Longhorn wintergreen pouches is actually what I would recommend somebody, just for the price point alone. But back to this, Timberwolf peach pouches is the best tasting discount pouch you'll get. 50 cent more than Longhorn, but that peach is something special, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's something special. I'm putting this in A, solely because, in my opinion, this is the best, by far best, discount dip you can get on the market, flavor-wise. It's like, to me, from what I've heard, is like peach tea meets slight tobacco taste. And if you like peach tea, usually people from the South do. I personally am from the Florida-Georgia line. So I got the best of Georgia and Florida. It's too good. Yeah, dude, if you're on a budget and you can't afford the $2, I'd highly recommend the $2.50. Like, if you can spare that 50 cent extra, you need to get that Timberwolf peach. I can't speak highly enough of this thing. It's so good. And you won't expect it, man. Like, I got it for somebody at first because I was like, oh, wow, peach flavored tobacco? And it's only $2.50? I'm going to see if somebody likes this thing. And hey, that's what they said. They said, it's peach tea in a can with a little tobacco and a little head high. Can't get bad off that. Now we're going down a little bit because for some reason, this company is very bipolar in how their products work. The Timberwolf straight pouches, on the other hand, is not good. It actually tastes somehow worse than the Skol wintergreen and has the same issues. So it's going below D, or below Skol. It's not snuff tier, by the way, because if this was the only thing there and somebody wanted something, I would still buy that for them, not me. And it's above Derringer because I was mad that there was no gun inside the can. It was actually just fine cut tobacco for $1. I thought I was getting a nice hot deal there. It turns out I did not get the deal. All right, off to the mint. The mint is okay. It smells decent. It has the drying effects that the Skol had, that the traditional one had. For some reason, by the way, back to the peach, I don't know how it don't have that drying effect, but all the other products do. They're all dry, straight in the can. But the peach is different. It's moist straight up, through and through. There's never a bad experience with it at all. So the Wolf is going above Skol due to prices. Because I would say the flavors are comparable, but the experience is about the same. But is it really the same if you spent more than double the price on this for the same experience, it's not the same. Because now you're mad that you spent $8 on this can instead of $2.50 for this. Next up, we're getting into a bigger market here. We're going to start off one. I've said a lot of negative things in the past couple of times, but we're going to Grizzly Wintergreen Pouches. Grizzly Wintergreen Pouches, in my opinion, is because it's more available than something I'll talk about later, this is the gold standard of pouches. It is the best pouch that you can get readily available at all times from any store. There's one that's going to be better, but it's harder to find. This is instant S tier. Instant S tier. This is the classic. Everybody, big W for Grizzly Wintergreen Pouches. It deserves it. It's amazing. I don't think there's a negative thing to say about that thing. Honestly. Just look at him up there where he belongs on the throne. But now we're going to his distant cousin, who is the opposite end. Grizzly Mint Pouches, guys. Grizzly Mint Pouches. How did Grizzly get something so right and so perfect with the wintergreen? And then the mint came, and they shit the bed. All in their pants, all over the floor, down their legs, and they walked into another room and dragged that shit into that room as well. This thing is the same price as the wintergreen, with a quarter of anything good about it. It belongs in delete tier, but I'm going to put it in D because it is not snuff. But let me elaborate. Grizzly Mint pouches are the driest substance known to man. Everything I said about Skol being dry, amplify that. You went from maybe a day in Arizona to where it's kind of hot, but there's a water fountain over there with Skol, to straight up Sahara Desert, middle of nowhere, you're gonna die. It's dry. There's nothing there. And I don't care how much saliva you have in your mouth, it's never ever gonna get wet. And the mint flavor, sure, it might be there, but it's like a LaCroix mint to where they just put the pouches on the table and they put a mint leaf outside the room to stare at it. That's the mint flavoring to it. It's going to D, straight at the bottom. And I'm going to tell you why it's at the bottom below Derringer, because Derringer didn't have a gun like I wanted in the can for $1. It's because the expectations for the wintergreen was so high and so great. Me going into it and thinking, oh, somebody's going to love this mint flavor. It's going to be so amazing because the smiles on people's faces whenever I see Grizzly Wintergreen in their mouth. They're going to love this mint. And when I give it to them, they instantly puke, throw it in the garbage can, throw the garbage can down the river, and shoot it with an AK-47. Maybe you just got a bad can? Yeah. Maybe 20 cans I got were all bad. Because I keep coming back seeing if it's not going to be dry. And guess what? Every year it's dry. Next. Grizzly Straight Pouches, on the other hand, is... honestly, it's everything you are going to expect. Yeah, Stockholm Syndrome's about right, dude. I keep having hope that somebody's going to love this can when I buy it for them, and every single time they throw it back at me. But to the straight pouches, it is what you want. It's like the working man's, it's the tried and true, dude. It is a good straight flavor. If you want tobacco flavoring in your pouches, this is perfect. It is pure tobacco. It's not too strong. It's not weak by any means. It's like a good feel. It's always pretty decently moist, so you don't have to have that kickstart to it. But it's not for everybody. Like, it's not gonna razz you with anything. It's the 9 to 5. I'm gonna clock in, do my job, clock out, go home kind of pouch for you. It's a B tier. It's not special. It doesn't wow you. But damn, it gets the job done, and I can't do anything else with it but give it some respect it deserves. It goes over Longhorn because I do think it It doesn't go over Longhorn because, in my opinion, they're about neck and neck. But the price separates it. On to the next category. We are going to go back into Skol. Now, what I said about Skol Mint Classic and Skol Classic Wintergreen, throw it out the door. Because Skol Extra Mint and Extra Wintergreen is the improvements that was needed for this company to survive. I am sure people got those Skol pouches and they were like, oh, never again. And they pressed the emergency button. They said, guys, we got to do something. We have an overload of all this Skol Classic, but we have to fix it. So I assume that the Skol Classic Mint and Classic Wintergreen pouches are still in stores because they never got sold ever in the first place. Because these came out. The Extra Mint has a better mint flavor. It is so moist out of the thing. You can have dry mouth. You can not drink water for 10 days straight. This thing will give you saliva like you didn't know you had. That is because I tested it on somebody who didn't drink for 10 days. And the first thing I told them was, if you put this in your mouth so I can see what happens, I'll give you water. And they did it, and they didn't even drink the water. They said they were good off that. It was so refreshing to them. And the flavor is, if you don't like tobacco flavoring, the Extra Mint and Extra Wintergreen, I'm putting these two together, honestly, because they are the same improvements over the other two. It's just do you want mint or do you want wintergreen? This kind of deal. They are fantastic upgrades to anything. Honestly, probably maybe the best Skol products on the market. They're really good. But that being said, it could be too much. Who needs water when you have Skol? No, don't say it like that. You gotta say Skol Extra. Because people will get the wrong idea. But it is a lot of flavor at once. The Extra is not a lie. It tastes like you're chewing gum. And there's some tobacco in there somewhere. So if you want that tobacco flavor, you're not really getting it. Like, you're not getting the want that you had in mind. But that being said, since it's such a vast improvement, it's going to be way better than anything else. So we're going to do this. It's going below them because of the fact that the flavor is so strong that you get less tobacco. But it fixed all the issues that was needed to be fixed. So I'm giving them a tip of the cap for realizing that they fucked up. And they had to do something about it. That was a great PR move by them. They got their fans back that I don't know they ever even had. And honestly, I'm going to put the mint over the wintergreen because the mint, from my experience talking to people, is a little less in your face about who they are. And they let you just enjoy your time instead of yelling at you like, hey, I'm wintergreen. Eat me. On to the next. We have Kodiak. And the reason this is in here is because it was an accident. One can ever that I bought. I appreciate the lore on some of these. Sounds like Skol tries to keep it 100 for the fans. Yeah, well, hold your opinions. We'll get to something else a little bit later. Kodiak was an accident. I stumbled across this, and I was like, oh, is this Grizzly? Like a better product? Because, like, you got Grizzly bears and you got Kodiak bears, and I thought Kodiaks are way cooler. So, this Kodiak can, which is more expensive than Grizzly, by the way. It was Kodiak Wintergreen Long Cut. It's not long cut. It says long cut in the can. It's not long cut. It is pretty fine. The taste is worse than Grizzly for some reason, even though it's supposed to be better because it's more expensive. It was a very big mistake, and it was one can ever created that I bought. So whoever I gave this to was not happy about it. It deserves to be deleted, but it's still above the snuff because it's not snuff. At least there was wintergreen flavoring in there and not piss dirt from a cow manure farm. So it goes there, which it also goes into delete because why would I even need this product when I have Grizzlies cheaper? It's the same company, so I can still support them if I am a diehard Grizzly fan, which, I tend to be a supporter of these three that I know that helps people be happy with their addictions. Not me, because I would never. It just shouldn't exist. I should not be charging people extra. What is this tier list? Brother, it is the tier list that everybody needed to know about. It is the tobacco dip flavor tier list that I did a poll on because I've never dipped in my life. So I asked a lot of people. But anyway, the Kodiak deserves to be cut and gone. So, after that, we're going to go back to Grizzly Long Cut Wintergreen now. The Long Cut Wintergreen is, in my opinion, the gold standard in the community for wintergreen long cut. Like when you think wintergreen, or you smell wintergreen, like wherever you are, and somebody's out there dipping, you think automatically, oh, it's Grizzly. Like we all know this. Like Grizzly wintergreen long cut is the gold standard. In my opinion, Grizzly has the second best wintergreen flavoring and smell from the people I talk to. And it should be respected, but I think that the long cut needs to be reviewed. It's not going to be an S tier category because the long cut is still, in my opinion, more fine cut than long cut. There's too much floater issues going on in their mouths. It's a little messier than it should be. I'm going to give it its dues, though. It is going top of A. Because if there's something on this list that's not in a store, this is my next go-to. Now, again, we're going to go back to this pairing. Grizzly Long Cut Mint. How can a company have the best wintergreen flavoring, the best formula ever created? It's literally the Krabby Patty, holy grail of secret formulas. And then they just drop the fucking chum bucket on the bottom and give me this mint flavor. This terrible mint flavor. This can is long cut, and it is still drier than the Sahara Desert. It's the pouch version. It's like the wintergreen is moist. The dryness of this mint is unbelievably bad. And it's still not long cut. It somehow is worse than the pouches. It goes below the pouches in D category. I don't know what Grizzly has to do to replicate the mint to their wintergreen, like the formula they have, but they need to get it together because it bothers me. Next is the Grizzly Straight Long Cut. Again, it's the same as the pouches. It somehow is just a working man's dip. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing exciting. There's nothing bad with it at all. But you're getting what you're getting. You want some tobacco in your mouth, and you don't want it to be a pouch. You want a little bit of extra in there. You get the long cut. It does everything it has to do. Again, Grizzly's long cut to me is not long cut. It's fine cut. It's just from me looking at it. Definitely not using it. So it's going to B and C because of that cut. But it deserves to be over Longhorn. Up next, let's go ahead and knock out the Kayak Wintergreen. I don't know how to say this politely, but if you dip Kayak, there's no hope for you as a human being. How can you go through every brand and somehow pick the worst thing ever created, and it's not even the best price? It's more expensive than Longhorn, Timberwolf. It's more expensive than a gold standard. This is dip meta. Yes, I'm trying to teach people, if they want to dip, the proper way to go about it. Because I don't dip, but this is what I've gathered from all across the world. All these experiences. But this Kayak brand needs to be stopped. It is the worst thing created in all of humankind. Everything about it. It is going into This is the wintergreen is going into delete category instantly, and it's going to the bottom. For me to put something below snuff, I have to be able to tell you about it. It is the worst thing created. It is terrible. I can't stand it. And if you see somebody with this, get them help. It might be better for them to be drinking 5 Four Locos in one day than have one pinch of kayak anything. Get it off the market. Stop supporting it. That being said, we're going to flip the script to the biggest surprise ever created. Copenhagen Southern Blend is instant S, and believe it or not, it's below the Grizzly pouches. That's a tough one. You can swap them depending on the day. Copenhagen Southern Blend is the greatest flavor ever created by dip manufacturers in the world. The flavor to this is unparalleled to anything ever. It is, and I can never speak highly enough about how good it tastes. The only reason why it is not the top of S is because it comes down to it is not a true long cut. It is a finer cut, unfortunately. And me, I'm not a fan of the fine cut anything. I like long cut because when I talk to people, there's less floaters. Dude, if there was less floaters and it was longer cut, there would be no reason to ever even think about buying another can of anything else created. People would go bankrupt because it's Copenhagen, so it's like $9 a can. But rightfully so, I would pay $20 to give people. It's so incredible. The only flaw is the biggest flaw in the world, and that's being a fine cut. What could have been, honestly. Copenhagen straight pouches. The best gift to people who actually dip. Yeah. It had to be nerfed somehow. It would be a monopoly if it was created that way. Copenhagen straight pouches, I will say it's the worst of the straight pouches. And honestly, it's mainly because of price, because the straight pouches all kind of have a similar taste to them. It's not that moist. And believe it or not, that pouch can is the only can that has like a wax bottom to it. So it's supposed to help with the moisture. It doesn't. It's still somewhat dry. It's not bone dry like Grizzly Mint, but it tastes the same. But you're still using $9 a can opposed to like a $2 Longhorn for the same product. I would not recommend this to people, but it's still not Grizzly tier. It still isn't Derringer that could have had a gun in it for $1 but didn't. And Wolf's a little bit drier, so if we ignore the price of this and we actually go straight up product, Copenhagen is better than that. So it'll go here. Skull's somehow slightly still better than... I'm not doing that. Yeah, I am. I'm going to stick to my guns. Skull is a little bit better than that somehow. But on the reverse, we finally get to something positive. Copenhagen mint pouches. The best mint pouches in the market. They said Grizzly is fucking up so bad on their pouches with mint that we have a way we can get into this game and beat them. Their mint pouches are not bone dry. It actually is super moist straight up. I believe the count of pouches in each can is actually like 2 or 1 higher. So you get a little bit more product in it. And they're only like 20 cents more expensive. It's a big jump compared to what these were and this was. That being said, it's the best mint on the market. It belongs in A tier. No, yes. It belongs in A tier. It's the best mint pouches on the market. I would recommend that as well. It's just the price makes me want to put it lower, but I have to be true. It is if you want mint pouches, that is what you go for. On the reverse of that, their wintergreen pouches are not the best, but not the worst. Would you say there's a mint-sized hole in the market that can be taken advantage of by a company? I'll tell you what. I will actually answer that after I do 2 more cans because I will speak on that. I will do this for you. I was going to do something else, but now that you brought that up, I will come back to something I think that should have happened. And I've been talking about it for a year and a half, 2 years now. But the Grizzly Wintergreen should definitely be, or not Grizzly, sorry. The Copenhagen Wintergreen is better than the extra Wintergreen, but it is nowhere close to being as good as the Grizzly Wintergreen. So you're in this weird limbo of being in the middle. Is it better than the Longhorn? Sure, it's a little bit better, but at that point, $7 more a can does not justify buying this over the Longhorn. So it goes right here. It goes to the right, which is fine. I mean, B tier still is like if somebody had it and they're like, hey, you want this? I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to give it to this guy over here because I don't dip. Let me get that from you. So I do think that's a respectable spot. Could there be improvements? Maybe, but the thing with Copenhagen is they're not known for their wintergreen. Copenhagen wintergreen is not a really big thing on the market. All right, so we're going to jump to this now. And this is to answer this question that was asked of, would you say there is a mint-sized hole in the market that can be taken advantage of when it comes to mint tobacco? Stoker's Long Cut Mint is by far the most slept on, underrated tobacco ever created, and it is honestly the greatest can of tobacco you could buy somebody. It is the best flavor. It is a true long cut. The long cut's true. There is 0 floaters with Stoker's Long Cut. It is perfect. The flavor is well balanced. You're not getting overpowered mint. You're not getting overpowered tobacco. It is a perfect mix that coincides together to unbelievable amounts and takes you into pure euphoria once it hits your mouth. I cannot put anything at all above this particular can. And it is going to the very top of S tier. It is in a goat. You know what? It is in... Oh, well, that's not what I wanted to do. This is S. Sorry, guys. Sometimes I'm not the smartest. Goat. And it is blue. It's its own category. Dude, when it comes to mint, there is no one better to ever do it than Stoker's Long Cut. It is the greatest mint product ever. And back to your question, if Stoker's Long Cut mint was ever put into a pouch formula, the market would never be the same. You're talking about a can that is half the price of Copenhagen and Grizzly, doing everything they wanted to do in life, but better. They may have Lamborghinis and like 5-story houses, while Stoker's has a 100-acre farm. Family loves him. He's rich at the same time of having his land, his animals, his family. He is an honest man, hard worker, and he's always there for you. So he never had to take shortcuts. He never had to cut anybody off. He's the most respectable person in the world. Mr. Stoker himself might be on to something. Dude, if Stoker's comes out with the pouches, there's no other brand in existence that will ever be. I'm just waiting for the day. And honestly, they don't even have to. They don't have to. They're the greatest long cut of all time. It's the greatest. This particular can is the gold standard to all cans. And that man on the front of that can says, "You can trust me with your life. Go ahead and put a pinch of me in your mouth. And guess what? I will do it every single time. I'll put a pinch of Mr. Stoker in my mouth any day. Not my mouth, somebody else's mouth. I don't dip. You didn't hear that." Anyways, off the glazing train. Grizzly Dark pouches. Praise Mr. Stokers. Praise Dale. Praise them both. The dark pouches, what I thought could be something great. And maybe it was an epiphany of maybe Skull knew they messed up, so they made Skull Extra and it fixed it. Grizzly has to know they messed up, so they made the dark pouches. So it's a new flavor of pouches for the mint. Maybe they just knew. Wrong. It's still bad. It's still bad. The mint is still bad. It's I don't understand it. I don't know how. It is still terrible. I just need to talk to Grizzly on the phone. Put him on the phone right now. I'll talk to Mr. Grizzly. We'll get this sorted out. Maybe, if he's lucky, he can get a hold of Stoker's, which Stoker's, honestly, honest man. He'll never do any wrong or turn anybody away. He'll probably help him out. He's a great guy. He'll probably help him out with his formula. Grizzly needs to call Stoker's and get his mint situation under control, because it is going nowhere right now. Because it makes others taste worse. To be honest, it would be like... So this is a comparison. Stoker's Long Cut Mint is like a filet mignon. And, I would say Grizzly Mint pouches is like a well done chuck steak. You know one's terrible, even though the other one's amazing. So it doesn't really make it by comparison. You just know one's terrible. You're going to avoid it. Grizzly Dark Wintergreen pouches. Now this, in my opinion, is the singular greatest pouch ever created. But the problem with it is it's hard to find nowadays. I actually got this to give somebody because it's hard to find. I got this earlier while I was out at the gym. I got the dark wintergreen pouches from Grizzly. It has a nice American flag on it. Pretty solid can. It was hard to find sometimes, but we have a store out here that sells it. So, since it's not readily available, but it is better than the already great Grizzly wintergreen pouches, it has to go behind it, because if I do put it above it, if you just go product for product, it is better. But finding it so hard. So it has to go below just due to availability issues. But that pouch is something special. It has all the tools to be a great, I promise. If it can just stay healthy and stay on the court and be available, he'll be great. Skull Apple pouches. I know what you're thinking. Why is there a green apple in my tobacco? Who thought of this? Why is this thing everywhere? Why is this on a shelf? I'll tell you why. Because for some reason it works. It just works. If you like green apple, which I do. I like green apple. I like smelling green apple in other people's mouth because it's not in mine. You should 100%. You'll be skeptical, but once you put it in there, you'll be like, not that bad. Not bad. I'm probably going to get another one of these. Yeah, no. But I don't understand it. Like, it shouldn't work, but it does. It's like a magical formula. Skull somehow does stuff, and I swear we'll get to this. They'll do stuff that sounds decent and it's awful. Sounds awful, it's actually good. We'll get there, dialect, don't worry. And this Skull Green Apple just works. It has something to it. It's an original thing, which Skull does do original things that don't work, but it's unique. It 100% is worth buying and trying out. Skull Green Apple gets my nod at the top of B. It's not in A category because it's not as special as these people up here, but it definitely deserves respect. Skull's other experiment, Skullberry. Skullberry, I don't know how to put this. You would think after the success that Green Apple had and all that it did for the community and all the cool stuff that the extras did, that, hey, we're going to introduce berry and it'll be just as cool, like a fruity flavored dip. It tastes like cough syrup got shoved up somebody's ass and they pooped it into your mouth. That is what Skullberry tastes like. It is an instant delete. If you see somebody with this can run away, they are going to commit a felony within the next 10 minutes of them using this can. It is not a safe area for you to be in. There's no, and I wish this was something I could do. It's below snuff. Yes, it's below snuff. It is probably the bottom of delete tier. I'm going to tell you this right now. It might be. There's a contender for the next one for the bottom of delete tier. But this is an atrocity. It is terrible. This should never exist in its life. And the fact that it got released makes me question what Skull's intent is for the people. Sure, they fixed their mint and their wintergreen. But after this, I think they're trying to kill somebody. They're doing cyanide. The next, the cousin. I don't even want to say it's cousin. I think it's the twin brother. The twin brother to Skullberry. Skull Citrus Pouches. You ever have intrusive thoughts of drinking Pine Sol straight from the cleaning jug? And you're like, oh, it smells like lemony citrus greatness. This is probably what, if that intrusive thought won, is. This Pine Sol cleaner drenched tobacco, which you don't even know if there's tobacco in there. You can barely taste it. All you taste is floor cleaner and some lady spraying Fabuloso in your mouth. It is awful. I don't know if it's worse or just the same as the berries. Maybe they were made in the same room to where everybody just took turns like dumping chemical waste into this batch and made it happen. It is awful. Awful, awful. And if somebody says they like this, tell them they're wrong. You don't like this. You just want to be different. No one likes this. Get help, please. And then give them a can of Skull and it'll change their life. Or, not Skull, Stoker's. Give them a can of Stoker's. It'll change their life. Skull will change your life too, just for the worst. I'm going to put it... I'm putting berries at the bottom still. Somehow, after how bad Skull Citrus is, it's still not as bad as Skullberry. Oh, dude. Don't worry. I'm going to try to make this into a video so you can watch it from the beginning. Skull Straight, or Copenhagen Straight Long Cut. Sorry. Copenhagen Straight Long Cut. It's not really a long cut. It doesn't have much flavor. Honestly, the worst of the big three when it comes to long cut. I don't have anything negative to say about it other than it's not long cut, which you'll find as a theme here. It is also not the best flavor. I would put it at the I would actually put it at the bottom of C. It's fine. If somebody had it, I'd be like, you know what, respectable. At least they're trying something. But it's not like these where if I see them, I know that they're either going to try to rob somebody or they have nothing but ill intent for their own well-being. Now, on the opposite hand of that, the Skull or the Copenhagen Straight cut, the straight long cut, has great flavor. Everything that Copenhagen long cut wanted to be, the straight is the better version. And honestly, the price is, I do believe this one's like a little bit cheaper because the other one's the natural can and this one's straight. I don't think it does anything to wow you though. It's along with that Grizzly straight long cut, except I do believe this has more flavor to it. There is more profile in this can than the Grizzly one, so it's a little bit better, but honestly, like if you're loyal to Grizzly or you're loyal to Copenhagen, you can agree that like they're both 1A, 1B kind of thing. So I personally would give the nod due to the flavor profile that when I talk to people, they say it tastes a little bit better, a little bit more richer because I don't do it. But it's right there. Like it's respectable. Stoker's Long Cut Wintergreen. Now, I know the community says Grizzly Long Cut Wintergreen is the gold standard of wintergreen. And it's a popular thing. And what I think is people have never had Stoker's Wintergreen Long Cut because it's the best wintergreen on the market. It's by far the best. It goes right here. It goes S. Sorry, guys. It goes S tier. The best wintergreen on the market. It is the single-handedly best long cut in terms of the actual cut, that it deserves respect. And on top of that, think about this, it's better in terms of flavor. The flavor profiling's better. The flavors mix. It helps cooperate together. It's not overpowering. It's beautiful. It gets to your mouth. You're happy. Mr. Stoker's puts another piece of himself in your mouth, and you're like, please, more. It's too good. I love it. But all of this, and you're thinking, oh, well, why is Grizzly so much better in the community? And I say it's because it's Grizzly in people's minds, and they'd rather spend $3 extra on a can, $4 extra on a can, instead of getting the better product for cheaper. They just want to be Grizzly Sumps. And they have to justify that by saying, oh, I dip Grizzly, so it's better because I spend more money on it. No, you're just bad with money and you don't know what you're talking about. Stoker's is better by far in every single category to any other long cut in the market when it comes to this. Stoker's Long Cut Original, the straight. Now, if you think Grizzly straight and Copenhagen straight are the best straights on the market, $2S, the Stokers. Either way, the Stoker's Long Cut. If you think about these two, the top two dogs in the whole community, the Grizzly, the Copenhagen, you think they're the best straights. Guess what? You're wrong again. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the Stoker slander, even though I don't even think people slander Stokers, because once they taste it, they don't go back to anything else. Stoker's is always going to be the king. The long cut's perfect. You don't get the floaters that you get from the Grizzly. You don't get the floaters you get from the Copenhagen. You don't get any of these floaters because it's actual long cut. It sticks together as a unit. You put it in your mouth. It goes nowhere except for gives you nothing but pure joy and bliss in your life. Your day's instantly better. You got this guy in the can smiling at you because you trust him and he trusts you with his product. And there's no other reason to not get it. He's the gold standard. Mr. Stoker's has been doing this for as long as we've all been around. He has never let us down. He's never had PR issues. He's never had any PR issues. There's never been any claims about Mr. Stoker being a bad person. Everybody knows he's a good person. People just like spending more money to spend more money. And they don't want to see Mr. Stoker's blow up. But all of us know Stoker's is the GOAT. He's the best to do it. And he gives us a discount price. He could charge people $20 a can, and guess what? They're going to get it because they know it's worth it. No, he said Copenhagen's giving you $9 a can. Grizzly's $8.50 a can. Here's mine for $4. Enjoy your life. Have a great day. I'm gonna be over here on my farm with my kids and my family. And we're having a great life, living an honest life. We're not doing anybody wrong, minding our own business. Guess what? That's the guy I'm gonna support. Everything's perfect. He is going to be right here. And by the way, I only put him here because Grizzly's still the best wintergreen pouches. You know what? I can't do that. He is going right here where he belongs. He is the GOAT of all the canned companies. This is where he belongs. And I'm not even being biased. I need anybody in the whole world to get some Stokers, compare it to whatever they were dipping before, and reply to me, come back at me. I don't care. I'll take on all challengers because there will not be any aversion to what I'm saying. They're going to say, you were right. My whole life's been a lie. Stoker's is actually the best product I've ever had. Thank you so much for opening my eyes. All right, we're going to Copenhagen packs now. So the packs are a little different from pouches. They're bigger. They're like meshy material on the tobacco, and they're a little bit bigger. The flavor's a little bit more pure than the pouches, but it's the same price, but you get less product. So it's a stronger pouch with more product in it. So you're technically getting more per serving, but you're getting less servings in the can for the same price, at least. So it's not like it's upcharging you for less but more. The flavor's great. Honestly, I prefer this over the pouches because, in my opinion, that little extra somehow makes the flavor easier to handle than the strongness that is the wintergreen Copenhagen pouches. But it's still below Longhorn because of the price. I would still, on a budget, recommend somebody get Longhorn wintergreen pouches over this. All right. This is the last can, and I hope you guys are ready for this. The last can on this. Kayak Grape. I know at the beginning, people were like, Shane, what's KJ mean or KG mean? It stands for Kayak Grape. It's its own category. I think they should sell this product on the store. I don't want them to delete it. What I do want them to do is put a tracking device in every single can. Put it inside there. If it moves from that store, whoever bought that should be arrested immediately. They are not humans. They are demons in disguise. They are the worst of the worst people. No one buys this unless they're just trying it out for the first time because it's a grape flavored dip. Guess what? It's awful. Everything Kayak does is bad. This in particular is the worst of the worst. I would rather give somebody 10 Skullberry cans to use than use one can of Kayak Grape. And it's also fine cut somehow. It's not even long cut. It just says Kayak Grape. You have to open the can to see if you get long cut or fine cut out of it. It's 2 L's in a row. It's Kayak and it's fine cut. I am not a hater. Go get this. I promise you. The smell of this grape product is so strong, it will give you PTSD for the rest of your life when it comes to grape things. Okay? I've never seen somebody use this. Be a decent person and be happy in their life. The flavor of this is the worst. I got this for somebody, not me, for somebody. Just because it was grape, and me personally, I like grape. I like to smell grape, so I want to see somebody be happy. Gave it to them, and I was like, oh, what do you think? They put it in their mouth, and as soon as it touched their mouth, grabbed it, flicked it out, threw the can across the road, and there was a roach on the road it landed on. The roach opened the can, looked at it, and said, oh, God. They threw it across the road because the roach didn't even want it. It landed on top of a rat. He looked at it and said, oh, no. He threw it across the road, and then it landed on an earthworm. The earthworm put it on fire and said, please, God, no, get this off the earth. Wipe it clean away. That's how bad this thing is. It is in its own category. We cannot stand this. What am I saying, brother? I'm saying that this is an abomination of life. No one in their right mind should have this in their store. I cannot deal with this. It is the definition of what is the worst thing that's ever happened in your life. And it's probably buying a can of kayak grape. But anyway, we digress. This is the list. The definitive, non-biased, at all perfect list of the tobacco dipping experiences that you could possibly have that comes in a can. We didn't do any loose leaf like Red Man or any of that, or the dip alternatives like your Zens, because it can get a little too much to do on this list. But this is for sure what we're looking at. We're going to download this and save it. But all right,